He stood there quietly. Second in line, his coat was too big, shoulders slumped, hands trembling as he tried to count the coins in his palm. Behind him, the chuckles started softly, like ripples on still water. Then came the words. "Move it, Grandpa, or go feed the pigeons." A snicker, a mimic of his shuffle, and finally a whisper loud enough for the line to hear. "Looks like someone forgot which war he's in." The old man didn't respond. He just kept counting. 1 dime, 2 nickels, shaky fingers. No one helped. But 20 feet away, another man watched. Broad shoulders, calm stance, sharp eyes. The suit was plain, but the posture wasn't. He took 1 breath, then stepped forward. Not to buy, not to leave, but to stand. And when he did, he raised his hand in a slow, perfect salute. That's when everything changed. If you believe respect is earned and never expires, type honor in the comments, hit the like button to support our veterans, and subscribe for more stories that prove some salutes echo forever. The man who saluted wore no medals, no uniform, no visible sign of who he was, except for how he stood. His name was Colton Avery, retired general, U.S. Army, 5th Special Forces Group. But today he was just another face in line at the corner. Delhi. After 30 years of service, Colton lived quietly in the town of Fairdale, population 3,800. No parade greeted him when he returned. No newspaper article told of the scars beneath his ribs or the friends buried far from home. And that was fine by him. But that morning, when he watched the old man tremble beneath the weight of humiliation, something stirred. A buried instinct, a code that never expired. Honor. Colton stepped forward not as a general, but as a soldier who never forgot what it meant to recognize another. Colton didn't want a scene. He didn't want to embarrass the young men in line. He didn't even want recognition. He only wanted the old man to know, you are seen, you are respected, you are not alone. The salute wasn't for show, it was a bridge. From one generation of service to another. He hoped the gesture would be enough. But he didn't know that behind the counter. Someone was watching too. The cashier, a young guy barely 20, rolled his eyes. "What is this? Some kind of flash mob?" A few in line chuckled. The man directly behind the veteran muttered, "God, these old-timers and their drama." The veteran, still counting. Coins didn't even look up, but Colton did. His voice was calm, low. "You think that's drama?" He stepped beside the old man and placed a crisp $20 bill on the counter. "For his sandwich, and anything else he wants. And for you." Colton locked eyes with the cashier. "A lesson in humility. On the house." The room went quiet. The laughter stopped, and still, the veteran said nothing. But tears welled in his eyes, not because of the money, because someone had stood up. Word spread fast. A teenager at the back of the line filmed the salute, posted it online with the caption, "Guy salutes old man, whole Delhi freezes, watch what happens." Within hours, the video went viral. By evening, local news ran the story. By morning, national headlines read, "Retired General silences Delhi with a salute." But what the internet didn't know was that the old man, his name was Howard Mayfield, had once been a POW in Korea. He'd spent 3 years in a camp, presumed dead for 2 of them. He returned to find his wife had remarried, his records lost, his medals never issued, and so he faded into the background, until a stranger's salute brought him back into the light. 3 days later, a black SUV pulled into the parking lot of the Delhi. 2 men in dark suits stepped out. They weren't reporters. They were from the Department of Veterans Affairs. One approached Colton in the parking lot. "We saw the video," he said. "We dug into the man's records. We didn't even know he was alive." Colton nodded. He's been forgotten long enough. What followed was unprecedented. The VA reactivated Howard's service file, began the process of restoring his full benefits. But something even more surprising happened. The deli owner, the same place where Howard had been mocked, announced they were renaming the shop, Mayfield's Deli, in his honor. A week later, the town square hosted an event, nothing fancy. A few flags, a borrowed podium, some folding chairs. Howard was invited, but almost didn't come. "I'm nobody," he said to Colton. "I don't belong in speeches." "But," Colton replied gently, "you belong before the rest of us did." When Howard took the stage, the crowd stood. Veterans, school children, mayors from nearby counties. He didn't speak long, just a few words. "I thought I'd been forgotten, but you reminded me that respect isn't given once. It's carried by those who remember." He looked at Colton. "Thank you, soldier." But just as the story bloomed, someone tried to bury it. A popular radio host mocked the event, called it a stunt for likes, claimed the salute was fake. Social media lit up again, this time with doubt. People questioned Howard's story. Old pain resurfaced. He stopped leaving his apartment. Colton tried to reach him. No answer. The light that had returned to Howard's eyes seemed to vanish. He told the VA he wanted to cancel the medal ceremony. Colton felt helpless. He'd raised a salute to bring dignity. Had it only brought shame? Then came a knock. Colton opened his door to find 3 Marines in dress blues. One held a folder. Inside, classified POW documentation. Declassified that morning. Stamped, confirmed. Captured in 1952. Released 1955. They stood at attention. "Sir," one said, "we request permission to escort Mr. Mayfield to his ceremony." Colton didn't hesitate. He walked straight to Howard's door, knocked once, and when the old man answered, fragile, uncertain, he saw the Marines waiting behind Colton. He didn't say a word, just nodded, and stood tall. That afternoon, in front of nearly 1,000 people, Howard Mayfield received his long-overdue Bronze Star and POW medal. The applause lasted minutes, but what echoed longer was a single moment, when Howard turned and saluted Colton. Sharp, proud, full of meaning, and Colton, ever the soldier, returned it without a word. 2 men, 2 wars, 1 moment. The deli remains Mayfield's Deli to this day. A plaque near the register reads, "Respect is a currency that never loses value." Howard still visits every Tuesday, orders the same sandwich. People greet him by name. Kids ask for stories. And Colton? He never speaks of the salute. He doesn't need to, because every time someone holds the door open or picks up a fallen coin, that gesture lives on. Months later, a letter arrived for Colton. No return address. Inside, a photo. It showed a child at a school assembly, hand raised in a salute. On the back, 5 words, written in shaky cursive. "He saw me do it.